Welcome back, pet parents. I'm so excited for today's episode because, well, y'all know I just don't bring you guys supplements very often because I'm not a big supplement person. I am a food forward nutritionist who wants to do everything we can with food. And so when I had the opportunity to bring today's guest on, I was like, I wonder if I should. And then I remembered so many other like friends in the healthy pet space who recommend this brand. And I was like, you know what? I need to look into this anyway because my dog is aging. She's getting up there. And it is very food forward, in my opinion, this particular supplement brand. So I want to welcome Tim Mitchum from WinPro Pet on today's podcast. Thank you so much for being here with me today, Tim.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, Jessica. And I'm excited to talk to you about kind of not supplement. So I'm excited for that.
Yes. Well, and that is the thing, I make a big deal out of the fact that this is my podcast, that this is not on a network. I don't have advertisers telling me what to do or who to talk to or what to say because I feel very strongly, I'm very passionate about food therapy. Food is medicine. Nature provides, right? And it's wonderful that we have pharmaceuticals and other supplements that are out there to fill in the gaps when we need them, but it is not my go-to by any means. So
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of supplements on it because there are a lot of supplements. I don't care if you're looking at human supplements or pet supplements there are so many. It just makes your head spin. And I know my pet parent clients are just like, what about this one? What about this one? What about this? They'll send me 20 links. What about this supplement? What about this supplement? And I'm like, you're going to hear me say no a lot. Right?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because from my viewpoint, there's really not that many. They're just different forms of the same ingredients, right? And I have the inside kind of into manufacturing and that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of stock formulas that get made with a lot of different labels for hundreds and hundreds of companies. So when there is a lot, in reality, there's not very much innovation, I don't think, in that space, which is probably where you're skeptical, and rightly so, right? It's just kind of one of those things. So I think that's interesting that you bring that up because we're definitely different than that, and we are food forward. A company, as less is more is the way we look at it.
Yeah, sorry, my dog is, I can't see what she's barking at. So
we're on dog.
It happens all the time on this show.
Right. I've got the one dog in the world that never barks. So unless I pick up the Frisbee and then she goes crazy. So I'm barking like crazy when I pick up the Frisbee. So I don't know.
Yeah, at least you know what she loves, right?
Right, for sure.
Yeah, and it is interesting you say that about kind of the same ingredients, just in a bazillion different products, because that is exactly what I see. And I'm not on your end, but I know that it's this product and this product and this product and this, they're all getting this one ingredient from the same place. I know that, there is so much overlap, and it's just a lot of it is just marketing. How can I make my product that is exactly the same as 10 other products look better than these 10 other products? Which is why when I actually took the time to look at WinPro, which I'm not going to lie, the first dozen times I heard about it, I was like,
right.
I was like, I'm not even going to look at it. It's not, I don't need another supplement to look at. And then I looked at it and I'm like, oh, this is different. So can you tell my listeners why you're so different?
Yeah. So first off, we really fit into a weird category because we're a nutritional supplement, but we're not medication, but we work like medication, but on a holistic, natural way. We don't mask the symptoms or pain. We treat the inflammation at the source, but we do it with zero nutrition. Like we have no nutritional like claim or real benefit. So WinPro is plasma based pet health. So we take science that is based in the science of plasma and blood proteins and all the good things that come out of blood. We take that science and then infuse it into our products to create products that the real goal of our products is to just restore the dog to normal, help them restore themselves to normal, because plasma is nature's natural enemy to inflammation. And if you get rid of the inflammation that the nutrition or, a good lifestyle isn't able to necessarily keep up with, then you've allowed the body to heal itself, which is what we want. We want the body to be put into a position to heal itself. And that's with good nutrition, a lot of other things, but with all the toxins, all the things that attack our dogs to stress them out on a regular basis. It's very, we feel like we add value when a little something extra is needed to help them return to normal. That's really where we find ourselves in the fit that we're at.
Yeah, well, and there is such a need. There are so many holes, gaps that are there that can be filled, because I mean, I see a different side of pet parenting than most people, not necessarily you, but
Sure.
most pet parents see, because of the clients that I work with. And I tend to work with, they just found me. I didn't choose this. The majority of my clients, their dogs have severe leaky gut, so many food sensitivities. It's unreal. What can we actually feed this dog? Like, these are the issues that I personally tend to work with. And
Right.
a lot of times we can get them to a point with the foods we are able to feed them while we're trying to get the body into a state where it can do what it's supposed to do, like you were just saying, and heal itself. We're not here to heal anything. We're here to provide an environment in which the body can do what it is supposed to do. And
Exactly.
there are so many pet parents, and the reality is that kibble still feeds the world, right? It is a majority of what feeds our pets, which and that in itself is highly inflammatory. But even if we look at all of the pet food on the market, which is the foundation of health, right? Food is the foundation of health. You can't out supplement a bad diet. But there are still, even in the healthy pet food space, as I put my little quote fingers up, even in the healthy pet food space, we still see a lot of foods formulated with synthetic supplements. And
Sure.
that alone leaves gaps, in my opinion, because they can be inflammatory, they're foreign to the body. So that even if you are trying your best, but you still have to save money, so you're feeding a food that does have synthetic, like, there are still gaps in anything we're doing. And then as our pets age, or if they do succumb to some disease, there's some disease process that comes in to play, we have even more holes. We have even more gaps to fill. So this type of product, in my opinion, is one of those really, really great things we can use that's not synthetic, that's not just another synthetic we're throwing into the mix, right? To help. Did I sum that up? Okay. Did
Yeah,
that
for
make sense
sure.
to anybody?
Well, I'm the first person that's answering that, but that makes perfect sense to me. 100%.
Yeah. So plasma. And I was reading, it's all pork. It's all pig, correct?
Yep. Yep. There are bovine, there's porcine, Pig. So WinPro is based around porcine plasma. So pig. Yep.
Okay. And so you were saying that it's one of the best tools we can use to fight inflammation in the body. What does that do? Can you explain? Maybe
Yeah.
not
So
super sciencey, but like kind of the
yeah,
science
no,
behind it.
yep. I know how to be real dumb. Trust me.
That's what I
That's my
need.
that's my default. Um, by nature. So I'll give you a little bit of background. Back in the 80s, so I'm from Iowa. The whole company is based basically in Iowa. We have remote team members. But back in the 80s at Iowa State University, which is just up the road from us in Ames, Iowa, um, not the Caitlin Clark University that everybody knows about now, the Hawkeyes, but Iowa State University. And they were having a terrible mortality issue when they were weaning piglets. And so they tried different food. They tried different environmental factors. They tried a whole host of things that just didn't seem to work. And at the time, a scientist was working on a spray dried plasma matrix formula that he believed could have real health benefit to animals. And so he got them to sprinkle this on the food, introduce it into the diet, and the mortality rate dropped like a rock dramatically. And what they found out about that was it had nothing to do except for the situation was so stressful that it was creating so much inflammation that was what was creating the mortality issue. And plasma by nature is a natural anti-inflammatory, and it works very quickly, and it works with the body's the system so well to go where there's inflammation, excess inflammation, and really reduce that at the core. And it's one of the interesting things about our products is most people don't know this, but we're a member of the NASC, which is a pretty popular National Animal Supplement Council. We live in an kind of an unregulated world, but there are groups that we can follow and get guidance from and really try to be something inside of this space. And that is one of the groups. And because of the body of knowledge and science around plasma, we're the only ones approved by the NASC to actually have an inflammation claim on the product, which is extremely rare legally to do that the right way. I mean, some people may do that, but to have that approved is really rare, but it's all about the science around plasma. And that science has made it through every species. So it started in pigs, then it went to like cattle, all the livestock, poultry, goats, lambs, and ended up in the performance racehorse world. And that is where our founder was introduced to it, who was working for the company that was developing the products for the racehorses. And I don't know if you know much about the racehorses, Jessica, but they are like the super stressed animal. Like if you can think of the amount of stress they go through, it's incredible. And they have a issue that when they get to a certain point, they'll start bleeding through their nose. It's called bleeders. And I didn't know anything about that. But that's all an inflammation related stress situation. And so he was developing a product for that performance racehorse market. And it had such profound impact. He decided, wait a minute, I don't like horses because he just wasn't comfortable around horses in stables. These big animals just like at any moment could crush you. And he has 5 dogs at home. And he's like, what if this science could work for dogs? Because in his world, if dogs could live forever. I mean, that's the best possible outcome, right? And so he just made the leap of faith. Bill Bernardo is his name, and brought that science to the canine world. And then WinPro has been pioneering that into this space that, like you said, is really saturated with lots of the same. It's really lots of the same, to be honest with you. It might be a tweak of an ingredient, but I can tell you exactly what a hip and joint product has in it for any supplement, for any dog brand, and outside
Yeah.
of some of the random ones. So, but that's kind of where it got its start.
Wow. So in horses, well, with horses, pigs, the mortality rate of pigs, and he kind of tracked it
Yeah.
all the way through to performance.
Since the
Yeah.
80s. I mean, it's been around for like 40 years. It's crazy to think about.
Well, and we say that, but the reality is, if we really look back, and even now, there are still cultures that eat blood.
Oh, for
Like, it's
sure.
a thing, right? Like, it's gross to us here in the US, right? We're so, ew, I would never eat organs. Meanwhile, I'm over here taking desiccated organ supplements because I know
Right.
my butt isn't eating organ meat, right?
Right.
So, yeah, we know, like, historically, our ancestors knew the benefits of blood. And I think back to like all of the shows that my husband watches on YouTube a lot. He just walked in the door, so I'm thinking about all these shows he watches, and he watches people literally travel around the world, and they will, these tribes will, to welcome a guest, they'll pray over and kill and eat a goat, right? For
Right.
example.
Right.
And it is like the prized thing for like the elder of the tribe. He gets that first bowl of blood. So we
Right.
know. We've forgotten.
Well, what's really interesting, I think, is to take it to a level of translating into, let's say, dogs or companion or canines. Um, is when there's a pack of wolves in nature and they have a kill. Well, the alpha wolf gets first choice of the animal, and they always apparently go for the organs, which is the most saturated with blood, and it's the what blood has in it, which is that's like an innate thing, right? Which is amazing to think about. Like they just know that's what, if they don't get anything else, they need that. That's the most powerful thing in that opportunity. Um, but what we do is we simply take, because of science and technology, we take what's in that blood and extract it into a powder form so that we can give it orally to animals. And in our case, dogs and cats.
Okay, that was actually going to be my next question. How do you make it?
Yeah, so it's the very short version is we take the recycled blood, we run it through, and I'll give all this information to you so you can put it in the show notes because there's definitely questions around it. We spin out and fractionate all of the proteins and the good things inside, and then that comes out inside of a powder form, like a spray dried plasma powder. And then we use that powder just like any other ingredient that you would use, and we just happen to use it as the core ingredient in all of our products.
Awesome. So in looking at the WinPro, so it's winpropet.com is what I'm
Yep.
looking at. There are different formulas. So I'm seeing an allergy formula, a hip and joint formula, which you've already mentioned, a calming formula, which is really interesting to me because of my dog, gut health and immunity. So you have different formulas, recovery. So health and wellness. Oh, you have functional dental sticks, which is also really, really interesting to me. So there's lots of different products. The pig blood is the main component of all of them, but then you're taking other ingredients and kind of making different products to suit different animals' needs.
Yeah,
Correct?
so we're taking the plasma powder as a core ingredient, and then and that's the majority of that formula matrix, and then we're wrapping around it a couple complementary ingredients that would be normal to the world. So like our hip and joint, instead of having four or five or six or 10 ingredients, active ingredients, we would have plasma powder and balanced collagen. So it supports that the support that you're looking for. It's the ingredient that supports that outcome. Like calming, we would have theanine and taurine. So we are like, and gut health would be marshmallow powder and licorice. Those two ingredients. I think I'm getting them kind of combined at the same time. But complementary ingredients to whatever the remedy is that we're trying to solve. And then on the functional dental sticks, which is interesting you say that, I was actually super skeptical of that product because a dental stick to me needs to like scrape something or like be harder. But the studies showed that plasma works really most of the issues with oral health in animals, and same thing with humans, but comes from in the gums. Like it starts with bacteria in the gums, inflammation in the gums, and a lining. And then it translates into all the visible things that, we kind of see. And so we, like everything that we do with our products, try to go to the source or the root of the issue. And the dental stick is really designed to just be chewed for like 15 to 25 seconds and let that plasma kind of, ruminate in there. And it's had like remarkable results. We don't really do much for like fresh breath with it. Like it's not like we've overpowered it with some kind of ingredient or any type of whitener of any kind, but we keep hearing back that the breath is now finally fresh and the teeth are white again. And that to me, it just blows my mind because it like I can understand like in the soft tissue of the joints, something changing and you see the dog differently, but that just is hard for me to understand. Maybe it's because I'm just so used to like the greeny world that we live in, like it's hard, but the science really does what it's supposed to do.
Well, yeah, and I'm looking at the ingredients on those functional dental sticks as well. I mean, the parsley, obviously, that could help. But I was talking to Dr. Katie Kangas recently, so she was my like February Dental Health Month episode, and yeah, we were talking a lot about the oral microbiome. So and I'm seeing that there are probiotics in this chew, and that very well could be what's going, like, I mean, along with the other ingredients that are really, beneficial for overall oral health. And I mean, I'm sure they're getting the benefits of the ingredients throughout the body. But yeah,
For
balancing
sure.
that oral microbiome would definitely create an environment for a healthier breath, because that's what it is, right? It's a
that's
imbalanced microbiome that's creating that bad breath problem to begin with.
Yeah, for sure. And I didn't really get that, to be honest. I was just like, I don't know, is this really going to work? But just follow the science, and it works.
Yeah. So there are quite a few products on the website, and I mean, not a ton, but enough that I think anybody looking for whatever is going on with their dog can find a product that would likely benefit them. And these are all dog specific. Do you have anything for cats, or have you had anybody use these supplements with cats?
Yeah, so we focus we are not a company that focused on like we have to launch 20 products. We just followed the science of what we knew would be beneficial. And so we have a limited number of SKUs. I think we're up to like 10 or 12 maybe now. And we started with remedy products because you could see really amazing transformations from dogs with allergies or mobility issues, calming type of things. And then we've, in the last year, really added a couple products that I'm super excited about, which is our prebiotic probiotic meal topper that has plasma, prebiotics, and probiotics. And we make it right down the street from my house in Urbandale, Iowa, which is really, I love that aspect of it. But that's a meal topper. And if there's any like digestive issues and the dog maybe is picky on treats or chews
Mhm.
and that kind of stuff, this is a really good product that helps even like older dogs too consume food because it's very highly palatable. And so that's something that I'm excited about because I give it to my dog Daisy every day. And then the dental stick, those are prevention types of products. And then, like you said, we have remedy products, all for dogs. And we just launched, I shouldn't say launched, we just ordered our first round of cat meal topper and cat dental sticks and the dental bites, I guess. And I'm really excited about that because we've had people for the last couple of years ask us, do you have any of this for cats? Because I have cats too. I actually did not know that people had cats and dogs. I didn't know that that actually happened. Until I got into this bit. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought you were a cat person or a dog person. I didn't know that you could have each and be like in the
Yes.
same house. So that's been kind of fun to see. And in fact, the founder of our company has 3 or 4 dogs and 2 cats now. So I'm excited for that because there's a lot of challenges with cats dental health that I was not
Mhm.
aware of before getting into this. One, you can't brush a cat's teeth. The bacteria, I mean, I guess most people,
It's hard. It's hard.
the bacteria is like, can be deadly, like into like really, really bad. If you're bitten, if like there's a certain level of bacteria and that kind of thing. So we've gotten a lot of requests for a product that cats will eat, which they seem to be more finicky too. So we've had a
Mhm.
lot of great testing around that, and we've got a product that we're really excited about. Some dental bites, and then also the meal topper for some of the digestive issues.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that too because I tell everybody that will listen to me that cats are harder than dogs,
Yeah.
hands down. And some people are like, yes, you were absolutely right. And then cat people are like, how dare you? And I feel like I can say this because I was a cat person long before I was a dog person. So I have had cats from literally the day I left my parents' house when I turned 18 years old. I have had a cat, at least one. And the most I've ever had indoors was 12. I'm down to 4 now.
Uh,
So I've got my 4 cats and my dog. Normally we would have 2 dogs, but my dog right now doesn't like other dogs. So it's one dog and 4 cats. And
that's crazy.
they are so much more difficult. And yeah, it's their teeth and their gut, their kidney. I mean, honestly, they are just so difficult to pet parent.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
so I am really excited about that. And I think even with the food topper, if you're putting a probiotic in that, you've got the plasma, you've got the probiotic, that could have positive effects on dental health in itself.
Sure.
Um, so that could be certainly beneficial. I'm really excited for that. So
Yeah,
glad to
really
hear it.
excited.
Glad to hear that. Um, so do you happen to have any like just that pop to your head, like really amazing success stories with these products?
Oh my gosh, there's like so many of them. Like, well, I'll tell you why I'm at the company.
Okay.
One, and then the one that just popped into my head um, from a testimony we just got the other day that was amazing. But I think the reason I'm at the company I think highlights a little bit about how our products work. And I had a long-haired Chihuahua. Now, I married into this long-haired Chihuahua. I am not a long-haired Chihuahua guy,
No.
but I ended up loving this dog, Roxy. Like we were like best buds. She got me through some tough times, and so I loved her to death. But as she got older, she stopped, and this happens all the time, right? So she's this little dog. Her legs were like that tall, And she would jump up and down on the couch in the bed. And I realized after a while, like, that's like me jumping off of the roof of my house, up and down, up and down. It's like really tough on especially little dogs' joints. And so she eventually stopped doing that. And then, we just like, oh, she got older. So for 3 or 4 years, she didn't jump up on the couch or the bed. And my friend, who is a partner, local investor here in Iowa, was investing in this company called WinPro. And he's like, hey, you should try. I mean, it's pretty interesting. The science is from Iowa State. He goes, I don't know much about it, but I think it's really cool and a good product. Science is great. So you should try these, hip and joint chews. And I'm like, okay, super skeptical because I was not supplementing a dog ever or any animal ever. It's just like food. If it didn't work out, then just that was it. Try a different food. And I've also been through the era of, I've crossed all the dog generation behavior eras, I think. I've been alive when a dog was just outside, period. Mm-hmm. I've been alive when a dog was outside with a doghouse, and maybe in a carport or a garage. I've been alive when the dog got to come in when it was just like 0 degrees outside, especially in Iowa. And then now I'm alive when we're sleeping with the animals in our bed. So I've like crossed these, great chasms of pet ownership and pet parenting. And so I was not like high on that, but I gave her last milk bone or something at the time, her little treat. And I thought, oh, before I go out, I'll finish up this bag of these, supplements that my buddy brought over. And so I gave her those. And within 15 days, she was jumping all over the house, couch, bed, everywhere. And my big aha moment was she could always logistically make that jump. Like physically, her body had all the right things in place. There's no tears. She could physically do it. At some point, she was just in enough pain or discomfort that she chose not to. And then if you don't relieve that pain and discomfort, and in our case, inflammation, then a new pattern creates itself and people start picking them up. Mm-hmm. They just kind of a whole new pattern. When you take that away, they feel like they got puppy legs back, but in reality, they just got their normal legs back for the period of life that they're in. And then they can make different choices. And it was a huge aha moment for me to think, wow, products, like a good product can really make a massive difference, like, and change that dog's life. And to me, that was super exciting to be able to be a part of a company that, it may not work for every dog. Not every dog eats every product, but when they do and they have a problem, it can be absolutely transformational. And that's exciting to go and be a part of.
That's a wonderful story. And it brought back so many memories because I do remember when I was little. This is why I was a cat person for such a long time, because growing up, our dogs were outside, kenneled, because they were hunting dogs, and it never sat right with me. And I just was like, I'm not a dog person for so
that's
much
interesting.
of my life. I was like, it didn't feel right, and I didn't know any different. And so I was just a cat person for the longest time. And then one day that all changed.
I've never heard that angle, but I bet that happens a lot, because you would see what it is like to be to have a dog, but that doesn't seem good.
Yeah.
Like, and if that's what you're exposed to, then why would, that's so interesting. I've never heard that before from that angle.
So yeah, to this day, that haunts me. Like, Penny was her name, was the one I remember.
Penny.
Anyway.
And then just really quick to add on to that is we get testimonials like this all the time, but just the other day, we got an extremely long testimonial And they even started, this is going to be long, but I just hope somebody hears this. And it was a gal named Tina. She had a dog that had struggled with allergies and itching and scratching, like just terribly for years. I think she said like 4 to 5 years. And she really had concerns about the Apoquel long term, just it was like this vicious cycle. And within, I think she said 3 months, she was able to 100% get off of Apoquel and just to be on a natural product of our product, WinPro allergy. And she was just thankful because it solved the problem. And it was also, it relieved the concern of what am I possibly doing to my best friend here, but I don't have another choice. Like we kind of fit that gap when, this is masking the problem. Maybe nutrition at some point isn't enough, and we can kind of like come in to that gap that we can be good for you, like nutrition, but sometimes solve some really hard to solve problems, and get you off of some of maybe that harmful side effects or long term actually side effects of those other products.
Yeah, I actually well, from the day we're recording this, what is it? Today, it was a week ago
Tuesday.
today. I know, today is Tuesday, March 5th that we're recording this, just so you can see. It normally takes about a month for me to like actually get these podcasts up
No
and
worries.
out. But so yeah, last Tuesday, my podcast was about Apoquel and, just making smart decisions about it and understanding that for some dogs, it's only approved for dogs. For some dogs, it can be a bridge to help us get through while we're treating what's actually going on
Yeah.
because it's just masking symptoms, and so it's not for long-term use, and we know it's not for long-term use, and the packaging says it is not for long-term use, and yet every dog I'm seeing, they've been on it for like 9 years, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
my God. And then the C word and because we know that it's
Yeah.
an immunosuppressant. It's not for long-term use. So I'm glad you brought that up. I would much rather see people using this product and seeing how it works. Like it's not going to hurt anything to see how this works,
Yeah.
right?
And I think that's a really good point, because I was just talking to somebody earlier today that made me really, it goes along this conversation, but it was a hip and joint conversation, that how certain medications, if they're just masking the symptoms, can actually make it worse, because it's giving the dog false sense of stability or health, and so they do things maybe they shouldn't be doing. They're bone on bone, or just like, so it is really, it's a really important topic to consider.
Absolutely, it is. And that, yeah, what you brought up is a very interesting point and definitely something like we have to think, and it's like a lot of people don't even think about it for themselves. So why would they
Right.
think about it for their pets? And I always say, like, I think people who find the healthy pet space, the more holistic route to raising their pets, either get there because their dog or cat went through something horrible and they had nowhere else to
Mm-hmm.
turn, and they were like, okay, what is this? Or something horrible happened with their health. They turned it all around holistically, and then one day looked at their pet and was like, why am I feeding you this kibble? Or it
Yeah.
like a light bulb comes on. So it's one of these two paths generally, and it's sad, but that we have to get to such a low point to find all this wonderful goodness in the world that is available to us. But it's the reality. So we're here, right? We're here to catch
Yeah.
you when you fall.
Right. What do they say, that nobody goes to the doctor for prevention? It's like, it's just the way
Yeah.
we're designed for some
Yeah.
reason.
Well, Yeah, and our doctors don't even practice prevention. Most of them, I shouldn't say all of them, most of them
Right.
don't even practice prevention anymore. It's really a you got to figure it all out for yourself kind of world. So I think that's
Yeah,
one
I
of
agree.
the good parts of social media. There are a lot of bad parts of social media, but one of the good parts of social media is that people like us and people in the human health world as well can get that message out about natural options, natural healing, helping people understand that pretty much every pharmaceutical is some sort of derivative they've pulled from a plant and said, how can we make this synthetic and isolate it? And so if we can go back to nature, if we can go back to what the earth is providing for us. Yeah, I don't know. That's my high voice. I always get on.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, I really am with you. 100%.
So, where can people find, I'm sure you guys post on social, are you sharing your testimonials so people can see what they're missing out on and all the things?
Yeah. So we're on all the normal places: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And I'll give you links to everything. You can, if you're interested in purchasing it, winpropet.com is our main site. We are on Amazon and Chewy. Those are the main three channels. Um, and then we do have a vet exclusive product that is coming out. We're marketing into the vets right now.
Okay.
So if anybody knows a vet that they have a really good relationship with and they want to send a couple free canisters of a vet exclusive product, we'd totally be game for helping get into their vet too. So
Oh, that's wonderful. I love that because it is something that could be very beneficial for a lot of veterinarians. And when we think about how veterinarians make money and can keep their doors open, if they can have a product in
right.
house to provide that is going to be probably more beneficial than another product in its place. Yeah, let's do that. Let's
Yeah,
get
that's why we want to give away sample, like full canisters to them, because we want them to bring it in, experience it with dogs in their vet office, see the impact, and then be passionate about bringing it in. I think we're in a dozen or so vet offices now without the vet exclusive product, and that solely comes from the vet who's open minded, who wants to always learn about alternatives and new options and different treatments. That they'll see a dog that's been in their office, they've done kind of the normal things, and it hasn't quite had the impact, and then the dog will come back whenever, and it's like jumping up onto the exam table, and they're like, what happened? And they're like, well, I found the WinPro. And then the vet reaches out, they understand the science of plasma, and they bring it in. So we're really trying to push a vet exclusive product to help them, and give them security that this particular product is only sold to the vet. So you guys can rest assured that if you recommend it, they have to come back and get it from you. So
right. Well, thank you for that. Definitely check out winpropet.com. Talk to your veterinarian about it, especially if you've used it or you're going to use it and it works really, really well for your pet. Talk to your veterinarian about it because it is kind of like with everything in this space, we have to keep talking and telling people about it so that we can grow it and get it out to more and more people. Because it does
yeah,
seem like a really wonderful product, and I love that there's science behind it, and it isn't just like you said, like a replica of 500 million other products that are out
right.
there.
And I'll tell you, for your listeners, Jessica, we'll have a coupon code set up, reset 20, that'll give them 20% off of any first time, and on the first time subscription. And I also want to add too, like we are really we understand that not every dog is going to get a result, or that some dogs are picky and don't eat certain types of products, and or whatever. But we have a 100% money back guarantee with a no ship back. You don't have to ship anything back. Just tell us. And if it didn't work out, no worries. We just ask that if you're up for it, you give it to somebody in need that you know, because maybe it'll help them.
Yeah,
But we'll make sure that they get taken care of right away. So there's really should be like zero risk.
that's great. And thank you so much for that coupon code. I'll make sure that it is in the show notes. And yeah, all of your socials will be in the show notes as well. With the guest profile that you filled out, it is all linked, everything on the petparentingreset.com.
Awesome.
All of the links will be there. And thank you so much for your time and for explaining what this product is, because it is so different. Like, it is not, like we started out saying, this isn't just another supplement, because
Right.
I am not going to have just another supplement on my shelf.
Well, I'm glad. I'm thankful
Not
for
gonna
that.
happen. So thank you
And
so much for everything you're doing and for your time. Guys, check out winpropet.com. Thank you so much for being here, Tim.
thank you. Appreciate it, Jessica.